Welcome to the Kentucky Derby Museum's virtual Horsing Around with Art ceremony. I'm Pat Armstrong, President and CEO here at Kentucky Derby Museum. Every year, we enjoy presenting the exhibit and look forward to hosting the award ceremony. While we wish we could be in person with you this year, tonight we will still celebrate all the fantastic artwork. It is still our pleasure to showcase all of the artistic talent in our city. It seems the quality of artwork improves every year, and we've been doing this event for 35 years. It is an honor for me to thank our overall presenting sponsor, WinStar Farm. A special thanks goes to Lindsay Marks, Marketing Director and Client Development Assistant at WinStar Farm, and also President and CEO and Director of Racing, Elliot Walden. Because of WinStar's farm support, we can continue to shine a spotlight on the thoroughbred industry through a unique way, through student art. Now I'm proud to introduce our host for the evening, Rachel Collier-Carr. Rachel is our Director of Communications here at the Kentucky Derby Museum. Rachel, I'll turn it over to you.
Welcome to the Kentucky Derby Museum's award ceremony for the 35th annual exhibit, Horsing Around with Art, a student's view of the sport of kings, presented by WinStar Farm. I'm your host for the evening, Rachel Collier-Carr. Thanks so much for being with us, and thank you to all of the students participating in this exhibit and submitting such incredible artwork. Thank you also to the area teachers who encourage your students to create work for this exhibit and for continuing visual arts education in your classrooms. I also want to give a special thank you to the Kentucky Derby Museum education team, specifically Heather Hill, who puts this on year after year with so much passion and so many hours of work. Lastly, but certainly not least, thank you to the parents for supporting these students and helping us to celebrate their achievements tonight. I'm a mom, and I know how proud you are. I wish we could all be celebrating in person together. There's nothing like seeing your student recognized in front of a big crowd, but just know we're all in this together, celebrating each student tonight. This year's judges are Mike Anderson, President of Churchill Downs Racetrack; Patrick Armstrong, President and CEO of Kentucky Derby Museum; Lindsay Marks, Marketing Director and Client Relations Assistant, WinStar Farm; Jenny Fannenstiel, owner of Forme Millinery Hat Shop; and thank you to the museum staff who also served as judges this year. I'd now like to present the awards for the 2020-2021 Horsing Around with Art exhibit. We'll get started this evening with the students in the primary division. Here are the honorable mentions. Aniel Soriano Rojas, Rangeland Elementary School; Grant Malloy, St. Agnes; Amelia Turner, St. Francis of Assisi; Susie Slada, St. Edward; Ethan Clayton, Wheeler Elementary School; Jerely Aguilar Navas, Wilkerson Traditional Elementary School. Our third place prize goes to Emerson Hom from Bloom Elementary School. Emerson receives a drawing package with safari scratch art and a ribbon. Bloom Elementary will receive $200 for art supplies. Second place goes to Kinley Selch of Wheeler Elementary School. Kinley wins a coloring kit including markers and crepas and a ribbon. Wheeler Elementary receives $300 for art supplies. First place goes to Camden Ignito from Norton Commons Elementary School. Camden will be given a sand painting kit along with watercolors, blank puzzles, and a ribbon. Norton Commons Elementary will receive $500 for art supplies.
My art is a drawing of a horse and a jockey receiving the roses at the winner's circle. I think that the Derby is important because it is a very important part of Kentucky's culture. It was really cool that I won first place because it was my first time ever entering my art into a competition.
Next up, we have our intermediate division. We begin with the honorable mentions. Blake Ignito from Norton Commons Elementary School. Caitlin Madanich from Norton Commons Elementary School. Mabel Rozowich, Norton Commons Elementary School. Eli George, St. Agnes. Sawyer Grissom, St. Agnes. Arabella O'Hagan, St. Athanasius. Xavier Norris, St. Athanasius. Gavin Burton, Wheeler Elementary School. Malin Kidwell, Wheeler Elementary School. And Lily Baker, Wilkerson Traditional Elementary School. Our third place prize goes to Ramaisa El-Jahid of Klondike Lane Elementary. A create-your-own story set with duo tip markers and a ribbon is her prize. And her school receives $200 for art supplies. Second place goes to Davis McGarity of Bloom Elementary School. Davis receives an illustration package with colored pencils and a ribbon. Bloom Elementary receives $300 for art supplies. First place goes to Emily Navas Garcia of Wilkerson Traditional Elementary School. Emily will be given a watercolor instructional package along with crepas and a ribbon. Emily's school receives $500 for art supplies.
So because of this pandemic, I actually imagined how my artwork would look like with the horses and with the people with the masks. And since we can't be at the Derby, I did people with masks, and the horse and the person with the mask also had a mask.
We're now moving to our middle school division. Here are the honorable mentions. Olivia Helmer, Jefferson County Traditional Middle School. Taylor Helmer, Jefferson County Traditional Middle School. Lily Barker, St. Agnes. Emily Slada, St. Edward. Our third place prize goes to Megan Sapp of St. Gabriel. Megan receives an illustration set with a sketchbook and soft pastels and a ribbon. Her school receives $200 for art supplies. Second place goes to Peyton Stengel of Jefferson County Traditional Middle School. Peyton receives a drawing package including metallic colored pencils and markers and a ribbon. Peyton's school gets $300 for art supplies. Our first place prize goes to Clara Fry of St. Agnes. Clara receives a watercolor palette, brushes, sketchbooks, and a ribbon. Clara's school receives $500 for art supplies in her honor.
I'm Clara Fry, and I decided to paint a watercolor portrait of a black jockey, Isaac Burns Murphy, who was the only jockey to win 3 derbies in the 1800s. Even though he had a really successful career, I'd never heard of him, so I wanted to recognize him and his accomplishments.
Up next is the high school division. Here are our honorable mentions. Kaya Mason from Butler Traditional High School. Terrion Girton, Butler Traditional. Rachel Miller, Mercy Academy. Our third place prize goes to Annabelle O'Neill of DuPont Manual High School. Her school will receive $200 for art supplies. Annabelle receives a sketching kit with soft pastels and charcoals and a ribbon. Our second place prize goes to Hania Hakim of Ballard High School. Hania receives a painting set with watercolor pencils and a ribbon. Ballard will receive $300 for art supplies. Our first place prize goes to Nevaeh Hughes of DuPont Manual High School. Nevaeh receives a watercolor package with charcoal pencils, sketchbooks, and a ribbon, and Manual receives $500 for art supplies.
In my artwork, I have a horse surrounded by a bunch of roses, and if you kind of notice, the roses are shaped in like a horseshoe shape, and horseshoes are supposed to be lucky, so that's why I chose somewhat of a horseshoe shape. And I won first place, and honestly, I didn't expect to win first place at all, really.
Now we're moving on to some of the special category awards. The first is the Millinery Fashion Award. Millinery is a centuries-old art form of hat making, and as you know, hats are a great Derby Day tradition. We would like to recognize Jenny Pfannenstiel of Forme Millinery. She has created hats for some of the world's most fashionable people, including former First Lady Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, and Madonna. You can find her hat collections in specialty boutiques around the world. Jenny hosted a Speed Fascinator workshop valued at $200 per person at her studio for 6 lucky students, which includes a tour of her hat shop and studio workspace. She demonstrated how to manipulate different embellishing materials, and each student walked away with a completed Fascinator ready to wear. Really fun experience for these students, and thank you, Jenny, for that.
Hello, I am Jenny Fannensteel, Master Milliner and owner of Forme Millinery. First, I'd like to congratulate all the recipients of the Millinery Fashion Award. And I'm so grateful to present this award because of the love that I have for the craft of millinery. And I hope that this award inspires all of you to learn and appreciate this age-old technique of making hats from scratch. And who knows, someday maybe it'll inspire you to have your very own hat shop here in Louisville.
Our recipients who got to take part in this fabulous workshop are Abigail Barker, Barrett Traditional Middle School, Emerson Hom, Bloom Elementary School, Caroline Keeney, St. Francis of Assisi, Emma Hayes, St. Gabriel, Jerely Aguilar Navas, Wilkerson Traditional Elementary School, Lily Baker, Wilkerson Traditional Elementary School. Next up is the Sculpture Award. The artist whose work is judged to be most outstanding piece of Derby-related 3D art will receive a sculpture package including modeling clay, markers, and a plaque. The school receives $100 for art supplies. This year's winner is Madeline Walters, grade 6 of St. Gabriel. Next up is the Employees' Choice Award. This award is given to the artist whose piece is voted to be the overall favorite of the Kentucky Derby Museum employees. The winner receives a prize package from the Finish Line gift shop right here at the museum and a plaque. The winner is Samuel Badelsky of Wheeler Elementary School. Next is the Outriders Society Award. This award is given to the artist whose work is judged to best capture the traditions of the Kentucky Derby. The winner receives an acrylic painting package with brushes and a plaque. The school represented will receive $100 for art supplies. The winner is Mia Langford of Pleasure Ridge Park High School. Up next is our Thoroughbred Award. The artist whose work is judged to best represent the beauty and athleticism of the thoroughbred racehorse will receive a private tour of Hermitage Farm, a travel watercolor package with sketchbooks, and a plaque. The school represented will receive $500 for art supplies. The winner is Jada Ali of Ballard High School. Up next is our Backside Award, and this goes to Madeline Stewart of Wheeler Elementary School. Madeline is the artist whose work was judged to best portray life on the backside at Churchill Downs, including any of the people, activities, equipment, or animals involved in the training and care of thoroughbreds. Madeline will receive an origami art package, a plaque, and a private tour of the backside at Churchill Downs on Sunday morning, April 25th, 2021. That is the start of Derby Week. That'll be an exciting package for Madeline. The school represented will receive $500 for art supplies. And now we have the Winston Memorial Award, a favorite here at Kentucky Derby Museum. This award has been created in honor of Winston, the museum's miniature horse who stood as companion animal for over 2 decades to several retired thoroughbreds, including the 2009 Kentucky Derby winner, Mind That Bird. The artist who wins this award is judged to best illustrate the importance of companionship in the horse's life provided by either humans or other animals. This student will receive passes to Old Friends Farm, which is a premier thoroughbred retirement farm in Georgetown, Kentucky, and Winston's final home, as well as an abstract art kit. The school represented will receive $500 for art supplies. The winner is Cece Mudd of St. Francis of Assisi. Now we have the WinStar Award. We would like to thank the sponsor of Horsing Around with Art this year, WinStar Farm, one of Kentucky's premier thoroughbred breeding and racing operations. In 2010, WinStar Farm cemented its place in Derby history when Super Saver won the Run for the Roses. And the celebration continues with their 2018 Triple Crown champion, Justify. The artist, whose work is judged to be the favorite of the farm, will receive a charcoal drawing package and a plaque. The school represented will receive $100 for art supplies. The winner is Terrion Girton, Butler Traditional High School. We now are ready for our Grand Prize Award. The artist whose work is judged to best capture the spirit of the Kentucky Derby will receive a race day experience during the spring meet at Churchill Downs and a package of high-quality art supplies. The artwork will be professionally framed and on display here at the Kentucky Derby Museum for 1 full year. The school represented receives $500 for art supplies. The grand prize winner is Elizabeth Lepley of Christian Academy of Louisville. Here's a message from Mike Anderson, the president of Churchill Downs, who was blown away by this piece of art.
It's undeniable that the intricacy that went into this is phenomenal. Every single, all 146 winning Kentucky Derbies horses are involved here. And then pinpointing on kind of the focal point of the Twin Spires, which is kind of the epicenter of this event. So it's just a spectacular piece. And the very finer points of every single horse, Derby winning horse, very detailed. I just couldn't pass this up as being the grand prize winner.
Here's Elizabeth's reaction when she learned the news that she was the grand prize winner over Zoom.
You are the grand prize winner in Horsing Around with Art. Congratulations! So, artwork was selected by the president of Churchill Downs Racetrack. How are you feeling, Lizzie?
Ecstatic. I'm so happy.
Yes, you have entered this contest since your freshman year, and every year this is the quality of artwork that you turn in. So congratulations, you have won multiple prizes, but you've never won grand prize until now. How does that feel?
I'm like shocked. I was thinking this year I better go big or go home, and I was like, just now, and I'm just gonna cry now because I'm so happy.
Yeah, well, you sure went big because that's all 146 Derby winners that you have drawn around the Twin Spires. Everyone wants to know, how many hours did this take you?
Oh, I don't even know. It took me like months. So, and then every day I probably spent a couple hours. So I don't like how, but probably over, I don't know, 60 hours, 70. I'm not for sure.
This concludes our virtual ceremony. We appreciate you being with us tonight. We are so proud of all of the students' artwork. So if you're at home, give yourself a round of applause. A cheer for those kiddos at home. We would love to welcome you to the Kentucky Derby Museum. Come see the HAWA Horsing Around with Art exhibit in person. It's so cool to see your students' art hanging up on the wall. You can also view it from home. So log on to derbymuseum.org and you can just sit right at home on your couch and look at all of the students' art if you'd like to do that from home. And hey, share this virtual ceremony. We know you're proud of your kiddos. Share it on Facebook, share it with grandparents. We would love for more people to celebrate them. We hope you have a great evening, and thanks again for participating.